this Garage Talk. We are in Winter Park. We met this guy, Adam Nicholson, at the Roll Massif Crooked Gravel / Sunrise to Sunset. He was displaying these cool little bags. And I got to talking, and I realized that he manufactures these bags in his garage here in Winter Park. For those that don't know, there's almost no manufacturing in Winter Park. This is his house. This is his buddy's. I got to show you guys this. This is his buddy's van. It's a 1970-ish VW, and he's a photographer, and we can talk about that in a second. That's got a good story. This is kind of his scene. He's got a nice fire pit up here in the highlands of Winter Park. But let's go into his garage here. And I think he's in making a bag like he was displaying at the Crooked Gravel. He also does a little wrenching on his bikes. He loves the bikes, and he's a big rider. He's from, grew up in Castle Rock. And here we are walking in. Adam Nicholson of San Util is the official name of your bag company. You also roast coffee, I understand. We can talk about that in a second, but say hello to our... We're doing a Garage Talk.
Yeah, welcome, Bill. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and it's truly called Garage Talk. We've been doing them for over a year now.
Yeah.
And now we're literally in a garage of your garage. Where you make these really cool bags from scratch.
Yep, exactly. So kind of go fully from the fabric here, and we're making Bill one right now, turning it into a bag that I call the Stash Daddy. So little handlebar bag, put all of the food, coats, all that kind of stuff. Got some compression straps underneath that you can cinch her up or throw a coat under. And
yeah, so close that. And so that was one thing you mentioned that was kind of unique, is you can close that into a smaller bag.
Yeah, if it's empty, then you can cinch it up, and that way stuff's not flapping around inside. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves, is when my bike is noisy or not moving well. So you can cinch it up, or if you're overstuffing it, then you've got some room to throw a coat underneath.
So as we talked, I thought this might be kind of fun to take on the upcoming triple bypass, which always, it's nice to throw an extra jacket and something I wouldn't normally carry or stuff my pockets with, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So you show us a template, and so you basically made your own templates, and you kind of grew up with your mom making quilts, so you had a little bit of intrinsic knowledge of somewhat, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, exactly. So kind of grew up, my mom's always been crafty, and she would always be upstairs quilting, and that was our thing to do, is I'd either go quilt with her or scrapbook with her. And then her thing was she would go to bike shops with me as a kid and build bike ramps and all the more technical building stuff. So now, as an adult, I'm kind of putting the two together, and it turns out sewing's a ton of fun. So,
and you've kind of carved out an interesting life up here, as we talked earlier, and you also roast coffee at the Perk.
Yep. And
then you sell roasted coffee with the Perk brand name, right?
Yeah, so we started a full roasting program about 9 months ago. We sell throughout all of Grand County to different coffee shops or restaurants or whatever it be. And we do some subscription online program stuff where you can buy a 12-ounce bag of our beans. So we work with an importer, source the beans from all over the world, and then we put the recipe together, the profile, to make the coffee taste how we want it. So.
And I was at your shop yesterday, and I took a picture of you with that roaster real quick.
Yeah.
Tell us about that roaster. It was pretty cool, how the green and sustainability of that roaster.
Yeah, so it's this company out of Berkeley, California called Bellwether, and they do kind of emissions-free roasting. So it's got all these different levels of filters. I think there's 7-ish filters in the machine. So we actually don't have like a smokestack or anything like that. It separates all the excess from the beans into a water bottle or into a chaff bucket. So, and then with all the filters and the water, everything is self-contained there, runs off of electric. So if you end up buying like solar credits, then you can be fully sustainable for a relatively non-sustainable industry generally. It's a pretty cool way to roast. So.
And that's important to you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you take some of that philosophy in your own business here?
Yeah. So I actually just last week was talking with some folks about, as I'm building this, how do I start to work in some sustainability type thinking into the process now before I grow it too much, and then it's really hard to change stuff. as we're going. So there's actually, I'm getting some samples here soon. There's a new type of fabric called EcoPack that I'm going to start using. It's like 95% recycled material, and then trying to ship everything as sustainable as I can too. It's still, you know, lots of travel for packages getting to folks, but we're going to use compostable packaging and attempt to think as, you know, earth-minded as we can. So
when we first met over at the expo and you were telling me a little bit of your story, I sort of had this like vision of, you know, Yvonne Chenard, or I may not be saying that right, with Patagonia, but everybody starts somewhere, right? And where do you feel like this might go?
I don't know where it's gonna go, but so far I'm just doing what gives me the most life, and it's very much a creative passion project right now. But all this has kind of grown in the past 4 months, and folks seem to be liking it. So we'll just see what happens, and as I feel led and get excited about something, I'm gonna continue to do stuff that I like, and hopefully folks kind of can get behind it and like what I'm doing. Eventually, it'd be pretty cool to be able to hire some folks here in Grand County into the outdoor manufacturing industry. That's kind of the big long-term goal, and we'll see how long it takes to get there, but I would love to be able to provide some work for people up here, try to get people to figure out how to make this a long-term sustainable place, skiing and biking. So
well, and there's a couple of things I want to follow up with that, but San Util is the name of your company. Mm-hmm. What all do you do? A lot of custom bags, all kinds of frame bags.
Yep, so do some custom bike packing solutions, so frame bags with different colors and zipper positions and that kind of stuff, handlebar bags, do a decent amount of hip packs for mountain biking, and then a new product that I'm going to hopefully be releasing here by the end of August. It's going to be a new tool roll for mountain biking. Yeah, this is a super basic template, but eventually I want to be able to make it so that if somebody asks you, hey, do you have a multi-tool? You don't have to second guess, do I want to dig through my pack to give them one? You just pull a magnet lever, it unfolds, all your tools are here, and you can help folks out on the trail nice and quickly. So,
that's a great idea. And you're a big mountain biker. You raced mountain bikes, and you were on the C3 team, you told me, and you used to manage the bike shop C3 in Golden.
Yep.
So you have a lot of ties to the Front Range still.
Yeah, lots of folks down there, went to school down there. And then, C3 Bike Shop, they're great friends of mine. They actually just moved up to a new shop near New Terrain, but I used to help manage a shop down off Tejon. So that was a great spot there. Great coworkers that are all still there. And we're actually going up to Steamboat this next weekend to race in the Revolution Enduro. So
nice.
Yeah.
And you do enduro motorbikes too, because you were telling me about some cool adventures you might have planned for that.
Yeah, hopefully in August, last week of August, we're hoping to do the Colorado BDR. So yeah, try to play as hard as we work. So
I showed the folks earlier as I walked in your buddy's VW van, and he's a big photographer, you said, right?
Yeah, he is. That's kind of what he does full time. His name's James Barkman. So he is currently in Pakistan with my roommate Alan, and they just had an attempt on Lila Peak. They're currently on Spantic right now. So they're crazy fit mountaineers, and they're doing a big ride up with MSR and Thermarest, and pretty cool trip that they're on. So
this house is really a breeding spot for all kinds of amazing ideas and creativity. Is it pretty contagious?
Yeah, it seems like. Thus far, there's just been an ever-going flow of folks in and out through the winter coming to stay with us to ski. We try to have as many guest beds as we can and host people, and along the way we get to meet quite a few cool people. So yeah, kind of met James through Alan, and he came out and did an Abbey course with us this past winter, became good friends with him, and then his whole network of folks somehow are all becoming friends and getting introduced, and yeah, it's a cool spot.
I mean, and for you said you just moved into this space just a month ago and sort of setting up a small manufacturing facility. What is it like in Grand County and so forth? There's not a lot of manufacturing up here, and
Yeah, thus far, at least from what I can tell, I don't think there's any outdoor industry manufacturing. There's not a lot of outdoor industry positions or work period up here. No distribution, not a lot of bike shops. So the Trailhead, they're doing a lot of really cool stuff on the outdoor and gear side of stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to manufacture stuff made in USA and figure out a business model where we can hire folks to sew and to create these products here in Winter Park and make it sustainable. So
let's walk through here real quick, and I'll kind of change the angle. I wanted to show people your sign and your logo. There's a story behind that, I believe, isn't there?
Yeah. So the San Util kind of started out, learned about a util in college from Delana Dura in economics. So
What's a util?
a util is a unit of measurement for this utopian society that's like how much satisfaction or how good of a society do you have. And then the word sans with an S means without. So it's kind of without satisfaction or without utility. Trying to think about or be a reminder that it's all right if you're not always productive. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to, not be full high all the time and just, be doing life.
Yeah.
So,
And that's kind of what you're doing, right?
exactly. Yeah, just trying to live it out and be as honest as I can about it. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us and explaining your business, and I'm really excited to see where it goes, and happy to help sell some bags for you and maybe get a little coffee. Maybe we can do a little dual thing or something down the road.
I love it.
Thanks so much for your time, Adam.
Thanks, Bill.